What is rest? A question that I get asked all the time when walking with clients on their path of healing, self discovery. What is rest comes up at some point or another. And it comes up in such a beautiful and innocent way because we all have an idea of what rest is, right? We all feel like we understand it. And yet, especially for those who come to the ends of their resources, their inner energy resources, if they feel burnt out or if they're walking the path of burnout, whatever part of the path they're on, there's a moment where this question floats up to the surface. And why? Because whatever the definition of that rest was before was clearly not giving them enough rest in order to be able to be with themselves and function in a way that makes them feel good in this life, in this body. And so, what is rest? Notice for yourself what comes up inside of you when I say those words. What is rest for you? What I often end up sharing with my clients is that it is the process of slowing down and being with yourself. So, not only slowing down to feel all of the sensations, like I always say, but to grow your capacity to be with yourself because something is driving you inside to move away from being with yourself, to filling up your time and sucking all of your energy instead of resting. And so, what would that be like? Are you able to be with yourself? Most of the people who fill up their entire schedules, the ones who value that go getting part within themselves, that productive part, the active part, the part that is able to do it all, and the pride that is received out of being able to do it all. There's a moment where that switches because it is not serving you to be maxed out all the time and to not allow all of the creative energies that live inside of you to really start moving and flowing. So, as you walk a path of healing, recognize what is pulling you to fill your schedule. Is it a voice? Is it a sensation in your body? Is it a deep need to be recognized or seen or to accomplish something? Are you looking for acknowledgement or to be seen or approval from one or both of your parents or someone in your family? Recognize what is going on inside of you and how can you create space in your life to sit with that person, that part of you. Now, one of the suggestions that I give my clients is to imagine that you are sitting across from that part of you, the part that's like, we could do this today and we could do that today, or let's do this and let's do that next Friday, and filling up the time, finding things to do. And it doesn't only have to be like activities. It could also be the part of you that wants to take care of everyone, to listen to everyone's story, to step outside of yourself to make sure that everyone is doing all right. That's another way of escaping being with yourself, filling up your time. Notice who you're filling up that time with, what you're filling up that time with, and be with that person. So that part of you, sit them on a pillow, sit them on a chair across from you, close your eyes and imagine having that dialogue with them. And the dialogue at first should be you listening without needing to respond. Listen to all of the different ways in which you distract yourself. Listen, 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 and notice what happens if you give yourself a chance to be with that part, because something else lives behind that. It's often a part of your being that is trying to protect another part, that is trying to protect a core value inside of you, something that is really deeply important to you. And it gets jaded, it gets separated from the self, from your soul, from your essence. And it's operating in a way that it has to start screaming at you in order not to hurt or allow the other part to have too much pressure or too much attention. It's the way that you protect yourself that you're listening to is a part that is probably protecting another part of you, a core value. And it doesn't know how to communicate, it doesn't know how to do that. And so it has you filling up your time, filling up your energy, filling up your attention and your awareness and your presence with other things, which means you're not present with yourself. You're not present with the moment of what is happening right now inside of you. You're not present. You're being filled up and you're operating in the future or in anticipation or in the past. But you're not here. So the invitation is to pull yourself back here and to sit with those parts of you, to grow your capacity to be with that. And notice what happens when you do that. To rest with yourself. Now, rest doesn't need to equate that it is like going to nourish the sleep time immediately, but you're not actively going out and dispersing yourself in all directions. You're collecting yourself to be here, and it may feel very uncomfortable at first. And that's what I'm trying to say. It may feel, you may have discomfort when you are trying to be with yourself, especially if it's the first time you're trying to do that. And so if you find that rest is one of those topics that you have no clue about, grow your capacity to be with you. Grow your capacity to be in this moment with you. And don't turn the things of being with yourself, the activities or the experiences, into something else. There needs to be no goal here with being with yourself, except to be with yourself. That's the only goal. So it doesn't have to turn into something, an event or an activity. It's exactly that you want to move away from. So rest, put down your phone. Take up some kind of practice with your hands where it is about being in the sensations. I often like to suggest that people work with clay or Play-Doh or something that you can mold and mush in your hands and that you don't need to have an outcome. You can do it with like food as well, but without the outcome of what it is that you're going to eat. Just to take a moment to really get into your body, into a sensory practice that pulls you into really feeling what is there and not trying to make something out of it or actioning something or doing something with it or having a goal at the end of it. So being with yourself. And the more you grow that muscle, the more you start resting. The more you start recognizing how tired you may actually be. That's what often happens. There's an exhaustion that you've been pushing away, filling up your time working on adrenaline. So that tiredness will come. Respond to that, take care of yourself, and continue to grow that muscle. Because once that's done, rest will become a deeper form of rest. So that when you are alone with yourself, you will really be able to re-energize, recharge yourself by taking that time out for you. I promise you that. So the path of reacquainting yourself with what rest actually is. I hope this was helpful, especially for those who are really struggling with burnout. I really feel for you. I know what it is to walk that path, and I know what it is to be really confused as to how and what, and to have this pattern inside of what you were able to do and what you're supposed to be able to do, and how it looked, or how you were able to respond to life before, and it's not working anymore. And you know with your head what it is that you should be doing, but at the same time you don't have a big understanding for that, and it doesn't feel like rest. So whatever you attributed to rest before in your past life no longer feels like it's connected to what rest is now. So it's reacquainting yourself with your body, with your being, slowing down to feel, so that rest starts becoming more nourishing, instead of only confronting because you have not done it and you actually don't know what it is. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you rest. Let me know how you are in your journey. That's it for now. One love.